Hello, this is Kirsten Hyde, and today I'm going to show you a flower tutorial. And the flowers I'm going to show you how to create today is this pansy and it's these roses here. The roses are two kinds of roses. It's the larger ones and the smaller ones. And the larger ones just have a smaller rose in the middle, and then they're created in the same way. These flowers is something I've used on several of my projects for Kaisercraft this month. The flowers I'm going to create today, they are going to be made with the Cottage Rose collection. In this tutorial we're going to create the roses. First you cut out the flowers or the petals, and then you need some beads. If you want the flowers to be in a different colour, you may use an ink pad or a mist to change the colour of the flowers. I start with a smaller flower and I turn the side that I want to show down, so I now work on the inside of the flower. And I use a hot glue gun and I put glue in the middle of the flower and towards one petal. And then I find a bead and I put the bead in the center, and then I put the petal so it sort of glues and sticks to the bead in the center. Then I put hot glue on one other petal, and what you do is that you hold the petal next to the one you've glued, so that you make sure now that you don't glue the petal that's next to the one you've already glued, but you skip one petal. And then you glue the next petal towards the bead. Now you've got the center of the flower, and what you've got to do now is that you've got to glue the other petals and fold them up towards the bead in the middle. Then you got the center of the flower, and now you need the petals to go around the center. And now I make sure that the side I want to show is up, so now I'm working on the side that's up. And I now put glue in the middle, and I also put glue a bit in towards the petals, but not all the way to the top. And then I put this little center of the flower in the middle, and then I fold the petals up towards the middle. And now you've got this, and then you can start doing the same with more petals and more flowers on the outside, and you can really put as many layers as you want. When you add the bottom on here, make sure that the petals that you get on the bottom gets to be in between the petals above. If you don't do that, you're going to get petals that line up directly under each other, and that doesn't look as good. Then I've got a small rose, and you may leave it like that, but I would like to shape the petals a bit, and that's what I'm going to do now. And to shape the petals, I'm using a knitting needle, and I hold the knitting needle in one hand and the flower in the other, and I take the petal and hold that between my thumb and the knitting needle, and then I just pull the petal outwards so it gets a little bend in it, and I'm doing that to all the petals. Then you got the flower. And what I'm doing now is that I want to create one of the larger roses. So I'm then going to put some larger petals outside these smaller ones. And I'm using this smaller one here as a center. Put glue inside here. And then I just stick the small flower to the center. And then I just stick the next petals to the first one in the same way as I did with these smaller petals. And I make sure now that the petals alternate so they don't get glued on in the same direction, because that doesn't look as good. So I alternate them. Then I'm going to shape the petals in the same way as I did with the petals in the middle with the knitting needle. So this is the larger rose. If you would like to, you can now colour it at the edges with an ink pad or just with gesso, and that also creates a gorgeous effect on these flowers. So now that you've finished your roses, you can use them on your projects, like on this layout here. Thank you for watching.